Good morning, H3 Cruisers. Welcome back to the channel. So yes, I'm still here in the Denny's. If you watched yesterday's episode, yes, I said I have an interesting story for you guys about why I come to this Denny's at 3 o'clock in the morning if I am in the area. Now, if I pass this Denny's any other time of day, I just drive right by it. But if I'm in the area, I take the time to stop and come eat at this Denny's. So without further ado, let's get right to the episode. Okay, H3 Cruisers, before we get into this episode, remember if you like the content in this episode, smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below as well, as it is greatly appreciated. Now, this Denny's kind of means a little bit to me, and, there's some backstory to it. So, before we get into Denny's, let me roll back the clocks a couple years. I used to be a truck driver, drove trucks for 6 years. Now the third company I worked for, which was where I went local, I delivered to all the Albertsons in Vegas. In fact, there's one right outside here in the shopping center. Now, occasionally I would come into this Denny's if I was, needing to take a break from work and I was in this area. Now, after a couple times, I started noticing a gentleman that was here every time I came in right around 3 o'clock. His name is Bob. Yes, after a couple times of eating, eventually, I sat down at the booth, and he would always sit in the same, at the bar over there. And he'd sit down at the same seat every time I came through. So one day, I got here, and it was just a little before he did, and I sat down at the seat next to where he would sit. And he came in 3 o'clock like clockwork. Every morning he comes in 3 a.m. And Bob came over and he sat down next to me, and we were eating and started talking. Turns out Bob, this man has been retired longer than I've been alive, which is insane. He retired from the police department here in Vegas. He worked for the Las Vegas Police Department or Metro. I'm not sure what it was at that time, but when I had met him, I was 26 when I met him, so that was about 4 years ago. And he was retired at that point for 28 years from the police department. But like clockwork, every morning he gets up at 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. and he arrives here at 3 a.m. like clockwork. And that's just his morning routine. But me and him, every time I was around, I'd come in here and I'd eat with him. And there was a couple times I picked up his meal and a couple times he picked up my meal. But great man, loved hearing the stories he had. I had a lot of respect for this guy. Needless to say, when I stopped driving trucks for TCI and switched to another company, I was no longer here at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I worked for that company for a year, and then I started doing what I'm doing now. And I hadn't seen him in about 2 years. Now that I do what I do, I was, a few weeks back, I was, actually probably about a month ago, I was over in this area, and I looked at the time, I saw it was 3 o'clock, and I thought of Bob. So I came in, and sadly, no Bob. And I've come in a couple times and no Bob. So I asked about Bob, and no one even knows him here anymore because it's new staff. Angelina has gotten me down on point now. I walk in, Angelina goes, "Hey, how's it going?" and gets me a soda and stuff. But she doesn't know him, the cook doesn't know of him, so it's come to my realization that Bob probably isn't around anymore. When I saw him last, he was probably late 80s, I'd say. Yeah, he was definitely getting up there, so sadly I believe that Bob has passed away. But in memory of Bob, anytime I am here near this Denny's, I come in and I sit down and get myself something to eat off the 246A menu, whether it's biscuits and gravy or the chicken wrap. And Angelina here takes care of me every time I come in. The second I walk in, Angelina's like, "Hey, how's it going tonight?" And we talk and about what's going on and stuff. And like I said, I walk in, sat down, and I didn't even have to tell her. She brought me a Coke. She's awesome like that, and customer service like that is also why I come back. But needless to say, I come here 3 o'clock in the morning to kind of remember Bob, the great man who came here and ate here every morning for over a decade. Yes, over a decade. The only times Bob didn't come in here is if he was out of town. If he was in town, he was here every morning, and for as long as, you know, he can remember, pretty much. Obviously not as long as he can remember, but, you know, it's at least 10 years he was coming here, if not longer, and it could have been much longer, but sadly, this comes down to one of my regrets in life. You know, Bob became a good friend that I'd come sit down and eat with, and I kind of wish I got a photo with Bob. I don't think I ever did. I'd have to go look through my photos, but I don't think I ever got a photo with Bob, and that is one regret I have in life, is not getting a photo with Bob. But anyways, guys, questions for you. Is there any routines you do that are crazy like this, like going to a specific food place certain time of day repeatedly, like I've been doing now? Now, I don't do this every day. I only do it when I'm in this area and at 3 o'clock in the morning. But what crazy routines do you have, and have you ever met anyone like that, you know, goes to a certain place every day? Have you ever met anyone like that, you know, just going out and eating? But that's it, guys. I don't want to go on too long with this video. Thank you for watching. Remember, hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And yeah, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next vlog. Take care.